I don't remember either grandfather on either side.
I remember Barrio,
think I
Ernest, old Mama's husband.
One, I've heard stories two different ways. Some say each one died. One when I was a few months old, one was about a year and a half old. I had others tell me a completely different story. No, he was gone long before you were born. I'm like, I don't know the dates. I need to look that up on the genealogy things here.
He might have been gone. I don't know. I don't know. I was little.
I don't have many memories of our grandmother on dad's side. Few.
She died like in 67 maybe?
Yeah, I was little.
Something like that.
So to show you how little I was, that I remember that bed. That I remember the bed.
You're going to destroy it.
Yes, sorry.
Sorry.
The bed thing. So I was little. Littler than I thought it was because if...
Mama Shaw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At her house. And
I think it was 67.
What's up? I was 3.
And the only reason I can remember that, because dates, I want to say Donna Lynn was born the same year that she passed away, and Donna was born in 67. Okay. I remember that. How I remember that, I don't know, but yeah.
Okay. So my memories of her are very vague, but overwhelming.
She was tall. She seemed gigantic to me.
Yes, she was
tall lady, but I don't know if she was or not.
That's why I'm a tall, slim lady, and I was always told no, she was a tall, big lady. But at the end,
I remember her as thin. Yeah, she lost a lot of weight.
Yes,
she was a diabetic. She had those little bottles of saccharin pills back when they didn't have anything but that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Little white pills for sweeten her coffee.
And she'd come stay with us for a week or two, and then she'd go to different,
Really? So I don't remember that.
Yeah, because she didn't come and stay with us at the house behind school. It was across the bayou.
Across the bayou.
That I remember. But other than that, no.
Do you remember Marie Legrand?
I was going to ask you that earlier.
We were in the room at the house at the bayou. And we were misbehaving, I guess, being too loud. They had company. I don't know what.
Teton and Marie Legrand.
Marie Legrand. A face thing on a broom. And outside they'd scare the kids and tap the window.
A fictional character to scare the kids, Marie Legrand, like she was a witch or something.
And I was terrified.
Or they'd scratch on the screen.
Yeah, it's like...
You'd run screaming.
Well, you wonder why we're warped in the head, It's like, we got issues.
Marie Legrand.
Marie Legrand, yes, ma'am.
Don't know where that came from. I know Teton was the one that I can remember doing that.
I remember as a teenager, Mom twice took me to Pontchartrain Beach in New Orleans. And I was able to bring a friend. And it was Eve both times.
Really?
Eve Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we went to Pontchartrain Beach.
Does she remember that?
I need to ask her. I talked to Eve recently. I need to ask her about that. And Mom would just sit on the bench with her snacks and her drink and in the
She
shade.
must have always had snacks and drinks. Her water.
Always. And that was before water bottles. So I don't know what she had, but she had something to drink, and she had her snacks.
Yeah, because she didn't like pop too much.
On a bench in the shade while we rode all the rides we wanted. We had to check in every once in a while.
Yeah, you could do that back then.
Yeah, it was safe. And then we'd watch her as we rode those, not a cable car, but those seats, like a ski lift. And from one end of Pontchartrain Beach to the
other. And we
other.
rode that with just that bar across. No computers handling anything, no safety situation.
Nothing. I remember watching, and she'd wave, so she knew where we were, you know. As long as we checked in every once in a while, she was happy.
To us, it was a big place, but it really wasn't.
No, it was not.
It really wasn't.
Really, just when you're a kid, it's really big. When you're a kid from down the bayou, it was really big.
You ever rode the Zephyr, the roller coaster?
No.
I did.
No.
The only thing I didn't ride was the Wild Mouse. Pookie and all would ride that. It would go up the tracks like that, and the little thing would turn.
No. The wildest ride I rode over there was the Music Express.
Oh, that was my favorite.
It would come to stops. You think the ride was finishing,
it would go back,
and then it would start going backwards. Playing rock and roll music.
It was fun. It was like a spinning top.
It was fun.
They had some fun rides there.
That's as wild as I got. Sorry.
You remember Mr. Bingle?
Beach. I do remember Mr. Bingle. There is a Facebook page for Mr. Bingle fans. My friend Cindy has a large collection of Mr. Bingle, and my friend Brad LeBlanc went to school at Central. I liked Dan better than I liked him. I made him move off the couch at our house one time. You from Central Foosh? Move over.
Move,
Dan
get
was
out.
in the middle.
Trojans, out. I was at Disney Springs last year at the World of Disney store, and we walked in, and I went, "Oh my God!" And I said, "Mr. Bingle." the man turned around, the lady said, his sister lives, he's from New Orleans, we don't live there anymore, his sister sent him. It was a backpack with Mr. Bingle
Oh,
on it.
yes.
That was so cool.
Yes, Maison Blanche. It was a Maison Blanche
Maison
special.
Blanche on Canal Street.
Yep.
He was so cool.
Those were some really fond memories. Those
Yes.
of shopping on Canal Street and Christmas time, Mr.
With
Bingo
Jan.
everywhere. With Jan. But when things were safe and she could take her 2 or 3 little kids or 4, I don't know.
We didn't walk in front of her for her to watch us.
No.
She was the flagship, and she made sure we were following.
Yep, on Canal Street in New Orleans.
And if she turned around and looked at you because you weren't right there, you better hurry up and hustle. And Mama didn't hit on us either.
No.
What was that?
We were terrified of her. Whoa.
She wasn't mean in any way, shape, or
It was a
form.
mental.
Because our society, that you minded your parents, the school
Yeah.
teachers, the cops,
Yeah.
everybody. Where
Yeah.
today they just as soon throw them under the bus.
Yep. Yep.
But
fact.
anyway, yeah, that was funny,
Does
Jan.
your grandma live in your house? Does she live
Yes.
in yours?
Yeah, see, I know the house that she's referring to where Pookie was in the cabinet, but I don't remember my grandmother living there. And
Yeah.
I know she did because when we were on the Daylane, she did not live with us.
No,
She moved in with us after we had moved behind LCO.
Yeah.
A while after, I believe.
Yeah,
And I just recall it becoming Erlene's house.
yes.
And I remember as kids, I don't know if you have to remember this, Laura and Leela were not married, teenage girls. We
Yeah.
were little. And when we'd go across the street across the bay to visit the relatives there, we would go to the back and go see them. And they'd
Yeah.
turn on the record player. And we'd have a dance party in the living room.
Babu
remember-
taught me how to
oh, I'm
dance,
telling
Laura
you.
Lee, and Leela was fun, and Mary Lee, my nanny, was
Well,
already
she's
married, had
married,
kids
lived in a
living up the
couple
street.
houses,
Okay,
yeah.
but we'd go back there. Oh yes, dance
That
party
was
all the
so
time.
much fun.
It was fun.
When
I-
did she move into Leo's house? When, how old?
We moved in the
I was
house behind
probably
school.
6 or 7, because I was 5 when we moved in there.
What was that? Maybe like early seven.
No, I was 5, so about 69. We moved into the house 68, 69.
What year did
I was in
Elridge
kindergarten.
graduate? Yeah, it would have been the late
Yeah.
60s, because Elridge graduated in 70,
Yes.
and we were in the house.
Yes.
I
They got
remember
married.
that.
And Diane got
Him
married
and
in the
Diane
house.
got married the night before graduation.
P Rogue as the ice chests, coolers.
So it was
full of ice.
impromptu. They had
Impromptu,
one
yeah.
day to
Yeah.
prepare it. The wedding was planned,
Put
but yeah,
the beer
I don't
and the
wanna say the
drinks
wrong
in the
thing
ice
here.
in the pirogue, and she walked up the aisle, our hallway, to the kitchen dining room area, and that was
Yeah.
the
At your house?
At my
Mom's
mama's,
house.
yeah.
behind the school.
But I don't remember old Mama not being there, living with us there.
I have vague memories of there was a little while she wasn't there.
Probably at the very beginning.
Yeah, maybe a year, maybe.
And then she wound up, where did she live? I guess still at the house in the back of the street before then?
I
Went to
guess,
Daunt.
yeah.
Don't know why she decided not to anymore. I guess after he died. What did he die in?
That's when I think died when I was about a year and a half. I'm gonna have to look on the genealogy.
Well, there's a lot of years in between then, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that she'd stay at our house, but she would be so bored. So in the morning, she would either get one of us to dial the phone. She could count, she could read numbers, that kind of thing, but she could not get the concept. And she could read that phone number and tell you all the numbers, but of dialing that phone. So we'd dial it for her, we'd get aggravated, because we had too many important things to do to dial the phone for the old
As
grandma.
kids, excuse you, yes, we did. Urgent thing.
And she'd call across the bay to see if somebody would come get her. If not, Mama would go bring her. And then she'd marcher la côte. She'd go around the neighborhood visiting with it was all family, except for
Yeah.
Miss Pete and all her family, but she knew them too.
They
So
were like family.
it made the time pass for her. And then one of them would either bring her or Mama would go get her across the bay. Sometimes my dad.
She sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
693718818 Mavis's number.
Mavis, and ours was 6933868.
Sure was.
Area code was 504. Back in that was only one area code there and 318 the rest of Louisiana.
Yeah.
I know
And
your daddy worked on the boats. What did Omaha's husband do for work? Do you remember?
I don't.
I have no clue.
I don't know.
I don't. Elridge nicknamed him because Maman would call him Vieux. Old man, Vieux. And as a child, it came out to him as Yo.
Yeah.
So Papa Yo.
You call him Yo.
And Yo was, it stuck.
His name was Ernest. I don't
Ernest
remember
Otan.
what he did.
That's a good question.
I don't remember him not being there
I
like he
wonder
was
if
going to work.
Elwood might remember.
I'm sure he does.
He was old enough to remember.
I'll text him in a minute.
Yeah, I don't
Pookie
know.
might even remember. I don't know
It's
what he did.
possible. I
Don't
never knew
rem-
my grandfather had a name other than Yo. I was big when I found out how that came to be. I was like, wow,
yeah.
okay, that
Ernest.
makes sense. And then she was his second wife. He had 2 girls from his previous wife who passed.
Yep. I
And
don't
they
remember
were
her name.
raised by some aunts or
Yeah.
something family. I know other family. And
She was a Cantrell.
okay. And
No, his mother was a Cantrell. I'm sorry. I don't remember the first wife's name and the lineage there.
sign of
But,
old age when you forget that kind of stuff. I'm sorry.
but his
Was
mother,
she married before? Mama?
No.
no. But he was and had the 2 daughters.
Tante Netla and Tante, what's her name, Lorraine Cully?
Lorena.
Lorena Cully.
Taunt
Lorena.
Lorena.
there you go.
Lorena. Yes.
There you go, yeah.
Yes.
She was married to Cully. And
They
Netla was
always
married to
loved,
Angela.
yes, they always loved Mama. Mama
Yes,
loved them.
yes.
And the
We would go
others did too,
visit.
but Mama and Taunt Net, they were close. And
Oh,
then we'd go
yeah.
see Taunt Lorena once in a while.
Once
they,
in a blue moon,
they were
yeah.
close, just not as close.
But her and Tante Net they were real
yes.
close. We'd go see them. And you know what? I used to love it because Tante Net always had her hair freshly done. Seemed like to me she
Red.
went to the beauty salon every day, but it wasn't. But
Not a hair out of place.
not a hair out of place. Red lipstick, bright red lipstick, and her nails freshly done, painted red. And I used to admire that. And she,
Yeah, she always put
shit.
together,
And
yeah.
kissed me on one side, pinched you. I was like, oh, okay.
They were
But
close,
I
yeah.
loved going to their house. You were always treated well.
Yes.
Okay. I remember that Travasan pillow Mama had. Okay, gave her
Yeah.
that. Because as kids, she'd throw it on the floor in front of the TV, and then we'd lay on our bellies, propped up on that pillow, watch TV while they visited in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I remember that. And that is where the bee stung the bottom of my foot. I had that bump for so long. We were at their house, and Mama told me, don't go out there barefooted.
Probably-
Okay. And I went out there barefooted.
Was that when Daddy was making her patio in the back?
Probably a couple steps
Wow.
into the grass.
She was real sick.
I remember a story of a goose, a duck, a goose that would get into the garden.
Oh, at Mom and Dad's house, Charles's
His pot dad duck.
two
Big
ducks,
white
two
goose.
white ducks.
Chase you.
Yes, and they ate. Dad had planted jalapeno pepper plants all around the sewer slab. And one day, one duck didn't quack anymore. All the jalapeno plants had been eaten, and only the middle stem was left standing. The duck
He suffered.
fried
Where?
his vocal cords.
Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy,
That was
crazy.
Mama did not like those ducks. Sorry,
No.
Charles, but she
I
did
know.
not like your pet ducks.
They would poop on the concrete slab,
concrete,
you know,
yeah,
and Mama
and-
cleaning.
Yep. Mama kept everything spotless clean. Spotless.
Clean.
Dad came home for a week at a time from the boat and smoked in the house.
I don't know how we survived
2-3 packs of cigarettes a day. And then he'd leave.
Unfiltered Camel.
Unfiltered Camel.
that. It was
He would
bad.
leave to go to work. And by that evening, that house, you couldn't tell that man had been there smoking. Walls wiped down, everything. That house smelled pristine.
Yeah.
People said as much that they'd walk in. Oh, Miss and tell me you never know there was a smoker in this house. Nope, sure
Yeah.
wouldn't, because she scrubbed it spotless. The many times I got kicked out the house so she could scrub the floors, all the old wax off on all fours with a big old scrub brush.
Yep.
And then once that was in the next day, kicked out the house again so she could wax the floors.
Yeah, put a new coat.
Yep.
'Cause you had
And
scraped the
it's
old
like,
one off.
Jeez, really? I hated that. And that wax had a smell about it. It was
It was bad. Chemical stuff.
Yep.
Did you know that Daddy knew how to play the guitar?
I learned that I was big. I learned that they were at Mavis's house, Mavis and Garrison's house, and Garrison broke out the guitar, and Uncle Lottie was there with the guitar, and they were playing, and Dad said, give me that, and he started to play a little bit. I was like,
I never saw that.
my dad plays the guitar. Dad was sick. That was
I
toward
never
the
saw
end.
that. I
So
knew.
was
I
16,
found out
17 years old.
after he passed away that he could play the guitar.
Yeah.
I stopped. Mama said, "What?"
Yes.
She's
I
like,
watched
yeah.
him at Garrison's house. There's a picture somewhere of He's got a
Clayman
cowboy hat on
played.
his head and was playing the guitar.
I'd like to see that. Nolte played,
picture somewhere.
Garrison played, Elridge, Hilton, Pookie.
They all played.
Everybody played the guitar. Only time I ever saw Dad with a guitar in his hand is if he was getting it from his kids, putting him in the case or carrying the case when they'd go out and play music. Didn't know that.
He played. I watched him. He played the guitar. I forgot. I think it was Garrison's guitar he took.
Never
and
knew.
Dad was playing, and it tripped me out. I was like, my dad plays the guitar.
Yeah.
I'm 17
Never knew
years old.
that.
Didn't know that. I'm like, wow.
Like, why did he quit? Wonder.
Life. Mom sang.
Yeah, I didn't know until way late into life
Mom
that Mama
sang.
had that beautiful soprano voice.
She she had a vibrato. Is that what she,
Yes.
in her voice when she sings like, "Who are you?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Mom, I didn't know you could
What?"
sing. Oh man, you know.
They hit stuff like that. It's like, let your talent shine, you know that. But she never did. She was
No, she always pushed us. They pushed us
Yes,
to do.
yeah.
Our parents never told us we couldn't do something unless it was something bad. You know, we knew. But you want to become an astronaut, you know, do it. You want to be the president of the United States, was kind of like, go for it. Always pushed in a positive, not pushed you to achieve. Yeah, you know, we want you to make good grades, but you do anything you want to put your mind to, you do it.
Yep, do it.
You
Just
do it. And they were good for that. Now, Mama pushed us to learn music. She really wanted
Yes,
us because
she
she
did.
loved music.
Yep.
And we all had a natural talent for music. We did. You just didn't pursue yours. You should have. You still could.
I tried. No, y'all stole all of it. The three of y'all stole all
No,
of it.
indeed.
I had zero talent. I liked.
the clarinet.
I played the
She
clarinet.
did.
Then I did.
And she could play a lot of
I
things.
loved the
She
clarinet.
just.
I can tell you that I did. I remember I had been very, very sick. Maybe the flu, I guess. Out of school for a couple of weeks, sick, and they had evidently had what they called in the band a challenge.
Yeah.
And we had like 12 clarinet players.
I always had a bunch of clarinets.
And a small junior high school, that's a lot of
Yeah.
clarinet players. And so therefore, while it happened, since I was absent, I got 12th chair.
Great.
I was like, geez, and I was always somewhere up there, you know. And our band system was all like in a U shape.
Yeah, like a semicircle.
Yeah,
kind of.
and I remember them doing the challenge. I went, I refuse to stay back here. And I played my way all the way
See?
back to the front. I'm like, I ain't never doing that again. I didn't care if I was sick. I didn't care if I was dying. I was like, I was
Just like,
not going
I'm
to
done,
school
Jan.
to
This
lose
is
that.
it.
That was it.
As good as it gets.
And then I learned on, was it your saxophone or Eldridge's saxophone? One of y'all's
I don't know.
saxophone. I learned the saxophone. I had to go in the back room with myself and I learned it. And I remember Mr. Angelo asking, did you want to become a saxophone player and stay there? You wanted the clarinet? And I was like, I think they were getting ready to do a challenge or something again. I'm like, I ain't losing my seat.
No kidding.
See ya.
Y'all gonna have to take me down.
Yeah. So I was ready. And I mentioned, I guess I did. I don't remember, but I remember that music. That
You ought to try the
was fun.
guitar.
No. Try
Your
it.
nails aren't real long. You tried it?
I tried. I don't like it. It just you
Takes-
got to get
yeah.
callous, and I'm not. No.
It takes a while.
Yeah, I'm not.
How long were your grandparents on your mama's side? How long were they married for before you passed away?
That's some hard questions I don't know the answer to.
That's a shame on us.
We'd have to go looking. I don't know.
We should have known that. We should have asked our.
So Mama was
mother.
born in 1933 and Tatant was older than that. So, and he would have died in the 60s,
So a good 30 to 40 years, easy.
I'm sure. I would
But
think.
I'm thinking he was a bit older than her. A little bit.
He was older than her. I don't know how many years either. Don't know if I ever knew that. Probably did. Again, I don't
Remember
remember.
on the genealogy thing, we could look that up.
Yes. Now,
Information.
her parents, Mama, Rosina, her parents were 15 years apart. And he would call her, his nickname was Ben. He would call her his little doll, his little wife. She's a little petite lady. And they were very close, evidently. She passed away first. About 85 years old, I think she was about 85. Yeah, because he was 99. He was going to be 100 that year.
Whoa. I don't remember that.
He used to be a farmer
Oh.
right there in Galliana.
Yeah.
Around when did they pass? All right, just,
That would have been in the 60s as well.
That would have been before me.
okay.
I'm thinking.
I don't remember. I'd have to look that up as well. But he wouldn't get out of the bed.
When she died.
7 days he stayed in the bed and he would cry and he would mourn her. And when they went to get him up, tried to get him up, get him to eat or drink, he wouldn't eat or drink. He was gone.
Wow.
Died,
I
as they say,
realized
died of a
that.
broken heart because of her.
Wow.
He didn't want to face life without her.
What was his real name?
John.
John.
John Gisclair, Jean Giscard.
Yeah.
Her name was Ovelia instead of Olivia. Ovelia.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've studied her up there.
Yes.
The lineage, yeah, we need to.
No,
Did you
I
ever
never-
print that out?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna get that printed out.
Old Mama was Rosina. She had an older sister. And then everybody else was behind her, I think, like younger.
Younger than her.
Abraham, Sonny, I don't know the order.
Which one was
Eleanor.
older than her?
Catin.
Kata was older. Okay.
Catin. And had Teleny and Lenore, Eleanor, Nan, Marie-Rose.
Yes,
Uncle Cheryl was the baby, and Nan was the baby of the
the
girls.
girls, and
But-
she lived to be the oldest of them all.
Yes,
She was
102,
almost
103?
almost 103 when she. Or was 103
Something,
So
she was-
She passed away in August. I remember after
She was over 100.
after Ida, wasn't it?
Yes, the year of Ida, Glenn's two boys passed.
From COVID,
Yes,
and then
just days apart.
yeah.
And then Nan went soon
It was-
after.
yeah, it was close.
It's all right there, close
and
together.
Ida happened all together.
Yeah.
So about 2-3 years ago,
Yeah,
somewhere in that area. Yeah.
but yeah, so, and then old Mama, Rosina, she had Erlene, Tatant, Mama, Geneva, Mavis,
Then Johnny
Uncle Johnny,
and Luann.
and then Luann. And Luann, Mom and Daddy didn't have any kids, and Luann was just a toddler. She followed them around. She called our dad, Dad.
Dad for a long
Dad,
time. Yeah.
Dad.
Mama had surgery, and they had to take care of her.
Yeah,
She stayed with them for a month or two, and yeah, she was.
they always
she
had her in
touched
tow.
them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They See, my mind slips. I shouldn't have told you you were getting old and forgetful.
None of old Mama's brothers ever had children.
No.
And then her only son, Uncle Johnny, never had any biological children.
No, no.
Sorry, it's a gnat every
No,
once in
yeah.
a while.
We are not crazy. Well, that's debatable.
That's debatable.
That's not why
So
we're sitting
old Mama's
here.
parents, Jean and Ovelia, were Gisclairs, the both of them.
That's
So we're
true.
like Gisclair,
It
Gisclair.
would have been distant. I mean, it would have been
They would-
cousins.
yeah.
Second, third cousins.
Pretty
Or more,
much.
yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't remember all that. Guess we could find that online as well.
Probably all in the family history. Who was?
Geraldine's sister, Lowena, could probably fill in a lot for us.
Could ask her.
And we'll need to ask her some things that she might remember,
Yeah.
All of the older ones are pretty much gone on.
Did your parents have any memories that ever talk about living through the Great Depression?
No.
They didn't talk about it?
No, the only memories that I know that like Mama would talk about was rationing during World War II.
Okay.
Because Daddy was born in 28 and she was born in 33, so a little bit post, but
Things just
the things that they could remember.
Yeah.
But the rationing, the stamps to get certain types of
Yeah.
food and the blackouts. She would talk about the blackouts. She remembered that.
I remember her talking about that. Now I forgot, but yes, they're popping up. Yeah, that was scary for her.
It was scary for them, And then she was like 14, 13 when the tornado hit in Galliana where they lived. She was asleep. So she doesn't remember it happening. But Aunt Mavis was awake. And old Mama was rocking Uncle Johnny. He was a baby, toddler, or whatever. And it was just a calm, heavy, I don't know what month that happened. I don't recall when they said, but it was just one of those humid nights that was just dripping with, But old Mama and all would talk about, and some of the older ones, Muddy and Tutut and all, there was bickering and fighting going on all the time in the street. Everybody's related. It was always yeah. They fully believed that the Lord sent or allowed that, as we would know, things happen in nature. But they were convinced that God had sent that teach them a lesson to get along. The tornado hit
If it worked.
in the middle of the
I mean,
night or late at night. She was rocking Uncle Johnny. Mavis was awake, and she said, suddenly you heard the roar like a train. There was no train. And she said, Mama got up and blew out the coal oil lamp, and it all broke loose. And she said this, I got goosebumps. She said the noise, the sound, it was just, they couldn't find Mama and Telani's son Steve for 2-3 days. Yeah, looking for them.
No
This
wonder Mama
tornado
was so
carried a
afraid of the
cistern,
weather.
ma'am.
No wonder Mama was so afraid of it.
Oh yeah, and then Mama got better. Oh, Mama, because Mama was
she
asleep.
never got over it.
Oh, Mama never got over it. A full, I'm talking a cistern, a huge cistern full of water, and carried it all the way across the bayou, still full of water. Telani, Mama's one of the younger sisters, had a set of twins, Carolyn and Sherilyn.
That's where that comes. Okay, now it's. I knew there was a twin,
The
but I
twin
didn't know the
named
twin's name.
Sherilyn perished in that. Yeah.
Oh,
It was hard for all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. This was a long time
They
ago.
couldn't find her. Where did they even find her?
They heard some moanings and started digging where there was debris.
This is your mama.
My mama. And under some trees that had broken and fallen, and you see on the cartoons on the TV, the inner spring of the mattress, under that, she was moaning. They were not conscious, either one of them. They had to send them to Charity Hospital in New Orleans.
New Orleans. I remember her telling us that.
14? So it must have been early in the year.
It had to have been.
13 or 14. I know
She
she
may
was
die when
young,
she was
yeah.
14, so.
So maybe she was 13. She stayed for a long time. She had a broken arm, and all this on her abdomen was ripped up under the bust here, and yeah, it took her. She was in there for a long time, and I don't remember what was wrong with Steve, but he too. I mean, they were unconscious for, yeah.
About the same age.
So yeah, it was traumatic to say the least, and I don't remember what all the rest, if someone else passed away, or what all the damage was. But for them, it was a turning point for all of them. It was a big deal.
Family.
And after that, our grandma, Mama, she was terrified of the weather, because she saw the destruction.
Yeah, I
Sure,
could see that. I could see.
they literally
the
were
fear.
caught up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a big
Is that
deal.
why
Heard a
Mom
lot of
liked to watch
stories.
Wizard of Oz?
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Memories.
Used to get so scared of the Wizard of Oz. I hated it.
I don't know if it was Dad's skiff or if it was the boat that he had, the trawl boat. I remember being in Bayou Rigo with the boat in the Grand Isle.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a long wharf. And it was a parking lot. And I don't get caught barefooted, not even in the house. I've got socks on my feet.
Mm-hmm.
I will not step outside barefooted or just sock feet. That's not going to happen. But I remember 6, 7 years old, 8 at the most, running from that wharf from one end and then seeing how far you could jump. And it wasn't just gravel, it was oyster shells, because a lot of oyster boats came in.
Yeah?
Fresh oyster shells. Bam! Land barefoot, never felt it. My feet were so calloused from walking barefooted all the
Yeah.
time. I remember
We all
that.
did.
Yeah, it's like